The bottom line on all this is that there's change in here, and there are reforms in here. The local government funds, the local government fund, which is a revenue-sharing program that was phased out by the federal government in the 1970s, we are making reductions in the local government fund, but they're accompanied by tools that can allow local governments to cope. Tools like shared services and carving out more prevailing wage opportunities so government can save money. And also, don't lose sight of the fact that many of these local governments are going to get casino revenue, and they're going to be in a position to be able to cope with the loss of these dollars. But overall, as you examine this, we have provided for the most vulnerable. We have prioritized K through 12 and higher education, and we've taken care of those who are the least of us in this society. Is it perfect? By no means is it perfect. But I've kept the promise. We've spread the field. We've been able to balance this budget each year for the 2 years as constitutionally required, and we did it without a tax increase. So it's not just local governments, but it's schools, it's everybody have to pull together. But let me tell you this about local governments. They're getting the casino money. We're giving them flexibility and shared services. It's not just a one-way street. And again, this is a system where we collect the money and pass it out to people who spend it. Even the federal government in the 1970s realized that revenue sharing didn't make any sense.
Governor, there's a cut to the local government fund of $555 million over both years combined. There's also phased out payments to local school districts and governments of about $1.3 billion. I'm sure that the local governments, if they were here, they would say, you know, you're passing the buck down to the local level. What would you say to folks who are going to be looking at $2 billion less in payments from the state?
Well, I mean, I think first of all, we're not passing the buck to anybody. I think it's just important that local governments have to do everything they can to get their budgets in order. And the fact is that if we don't take actions, what are we going to do? You know, as I pointed out to you, the federal government got rid of revenue sharing in the 1970s. This is nothing more than revenue sharing. We collect the money and they spend it. They need to become much more efficient. That's part of the reason why you've seen the tools provided, both in this budget and separate from this budget, to help local governments to be able to act like a business. And it is critical. And look, longer term, we got to think about how many of these things do we need? I mean, can we have greater efficiency if we allow these governments to be combined? Now, this has been written about for 10 years, and no politician wants to say it. But I'm going to tell you, we're going to get a commission to take a look at how much government we have in this state.